episode 163 of Flick, James Flick, your one and only movie reviewing secret agent. Today, I will be reviewing a fantasy adventure film that came out in 1981 that is directed by Terry Gilliam and that stars Craig Warnock, and that movie is Time Bandits. So this movie has just started, and so far we have been introduced to our main kid character, Kevin, played by a young Craig Warnock, who is fascinated with world history. Alright then. Look at that! Some little strangers have magically entered through Kevin's wardrobe in his bedroom. I'd be quite surprised if that happened to me while I was sleeping. Oh! Kevin has been whisked into Italy during the Napoleonic Wars. That would be a rough time to time travel into. So these little strangers, who are 6 dwarves to be exact, have now been whisked into medieval times, along with Kevin. That's pretty fascinating. So Kevin has now taken a photo with his camera that he brought along on this time trip, and it was a group photo of the 6 dwarves that he is with. Don't you think that would sound ridiculous since there weren't any cameras yet in medieval times? Kevin has now come across Robin Hood, the legendary outlaw of Sherwood Forest, who robbed from the rich to give to the poor. Kevin has now wound up in ancient Greece. That's interesting since I am someone who has always been fascinated with Greek history. Wow! A bunch of fruit came out of a giant cow-shaped container when it was sliced open with a sword. That would be a surprising yet clever way to deliver fruit. My goodness! Kevin and his dwarf peers have just arrived on board the RMS Titanic, which was doomed to be sunken by a colossal iceberg in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. That's kind of a sad fate for a giant ship to have. Oh no! They are now having to deal with being in the water of the Atlantic Ocean. I sure hope that they can manage to swim themselves out of there. Well, they made it out of the Atlantic all right, but now they have come across more trouble like ogres and a giant. Ugh! One of the dwarves was munching on a rat. That would be a disgusting thing to eat. I would definitely get grossed out by that. Well, Kevin is now back in the present day in his own house, but too bad for him that it caught fire. As we get closer to the end of this fantasy adventure, Kevin is now settled back down to his hometown. Overall, Time Bandits is a fantastical, action-packed great time of a fantasy adventure. Join me next time when I review the 1971 movie version of A Clockwork Orange. I'm Flick James Flick, your one and only movie reviewing secret agent out there.